Today we're going to be reviewing the website for R&T Staffing. In this video, we're going to look at page speed performance, why accessibility matters, some on-page SEO tweaks, as well as a high-level overview of conversion rate optimization. Be sure to take notes because while this review is for R&T Staffing, a lot of what we talk about in this video can be applied to your business as well. Let's dive in.
First thing I like to do for every website is check out their performance from a page load time perspective. And we like to start with this tool that I use shows your performance as a score out of 100. And this score is also a bit of a comparison to other websites. So it's saying that your website loads faster and better than 28% of the websites on the internet that have been measured by this tool. Some of the numbers quickly. First contentful page is how quickly it took to load your website for just like a first pass. The second number here is how long it took to load everything. The reason these numbers are important is because many studies have shown that anything over 4 seconds has been proven to turn your visitors away and send them to competitors' websites or just other links that are on Google. So making sure your website loads under 4 seconds is extremely important. Why do we care about mobile? Well, over 50% of most website traffic is mobile, and that number has been growing each year. So it's definitely important to be considering not just the users that are on your desktop, but also the users from mobile traffic as well. This simulation for how long it takes your website to load is also done on a simulated 4G network. A lot of the times people will compare how quickly it takes for their website to load on their fast internet. We don't want to consider just the best case scenario because then we will be leaving those users who are on potentially the worst case scenario. We won't be thinking of them. And we want everyone to have the opportunity to be our customers, not just those with fast internet. So if we want to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance to get everyone that comes to our website to be a customer, we want our website to load fast so that they don't leave. And to do that, we want it to be under at least the bare minimum should be 4 seconds. We want it to get that number as low as possible. Desktop is a different story, looks a lot better. 1.3 seconds for the first image to load and 3.2 seconds for everything to load. So that's a lot better. And like I mentioned, we don't want to just consider the desktop best case scenario. We also want to consider the worst case scenario on a mobile. Moving on, let's talk about SEO real quick. So if I search R&T Staff, this is your Google business profile that's doing an excellent job. Just wanted to point this out. What we want to see for local SEO, which is how Google and other search engines recommend your business on a local scale, not on a national scale, is one of the key considerations is the community interacting with this business and are they reacting positively? So 4.7 stars out of 5 is awesome to see. And not just that, but I was going through and it looks like on most, if not all of the reviews, you've responded. So that's exactly what I recommend and definitely a good thing to see. So that's a thumbs up. Another part of SEO, and this isn't just SEO, but it's also something to consider from accessibility standpoint, is do the images on your website have alt text? Alt text is a little snippet of text that describes what an image is about visually. And this is important for this text to be descriptive for the image, both from an SEO perspective, because when the robots at Google come to read your website, that's all they see. They don't actually see the image and know what that image is about. Maybe we'll get there one day, but right now it's just they read the alt text and they kind of judge what that text is describing. So it's important from an SEO perspective so that the robots know what the website is about. It's also important from an accessibility perspective because not everyone can see the images and are using a tool called a screen reader where it will read out the alt text as an image. So it'll say, rather than seeing R&T Staffing, the logo, it'll say R&T Staffing. And we want to make sure, again, that we are considering everyone that could be coming to our website, regardless of how they are using it. And including alt text for all of our images is important to make sure that they are having a first-class experience on our website. So we can see here that these blog posts are missing alt text. And so if someone were to come to this website, they wouldn't know that. Additionally, not just considering the best case scenario, there have been some states like California and a few others that have been, this has primarily been impacting larger corporations, but websites that are not accessible by default have started receiving fines and for a lot of money. So it's almost like if you have a physical location, you need it to be accessible for people, and it's starting to trickle into websites as well, where if it's not accessible, then you can be fined. This is right now I'm highlighting your logo, and it's wrapped in an H1 tag. So the tag here, H1, there are 6 different types of heading tags. They range from 1 to 6. 1 is the most important. It signifies that the content in this is the main header on the website and should be considered the most important. Typically, you want to be putting text inside our headers because that's the underlying understanding of what a header is. Again, this comes back down to how the robots read a website so that they can rank them and make recommendations. And we want to be putting text inside these heading tags. There should only be one H1 tag on a website, which you only have one, but we want our most important text in there. And right now we're wrapping an image in it. When this website is being loaded by Google, they don't know what the most important heading of your website is. This is just a missed opportunity to share what it is your website is about, and kind of tell. So that's just could be hurting you because Google doesn't know what your H1 is. It just has an image in there. To that same point, this is what your website looks like as code. And one of the tags that you can put in there, these meta tags are specific for SEO. So for example, we have this title tag that says home-R&T staffing. That is the text that shows up there. One of the important tags we want to include is a description tag. And description tags for a page are what load in Google right there. These are all description tags at this text down here. And right now your website is missing one. This is again important because rather than telling Google what your business and website is about, they are just taking a best guess and piecing together this text right here. So rather than letting Google decide, it's better to come up with your own description and then just tell Google what it is your business is about. That is everything I wanted to say from an SEO perspective. Let's move on to security. So I've said this multiple times, I'm not a huge fan of WordPress, and the reason I'm not a huge fan of WordPress is because it assumes that you know what you are doing when it comes to security. That's probably the biggest reason I'm not a fan of WordPress. And so just by looking at the design of your website, I could tell it was probably running on WordPress, and that's not a bad thing. But if I'm a hacker and I know that over 50% of the internet is powered by WordPress, then it makes my job a lot easier to target websites because I just have to find the websites that are using WordPress, and then I have the opportunity to hack those. And every single WordPress website will go to the same login URL, which is -wp login by default. So something everyone should do if you're using WordPress, change that URL. There's plugins you can get to do that. Because if I have access to this and your backend security is not configured properly, then I can spend all day testing different username, email combinations, and passwords. And it's not too hard to get the email for who the primary login is. And then at that point, I just need the password. And as computers are getting faster and faster, the amount of time it takes to actually break into a website goes down. And what that means for you is some people do it just to steal websites. Some people do it because they want to hold them ransom. Some people do it just to make it their own. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of reasons why people steal websites. We want to make it as hard as possible. So hiding this page, making sure that the number of attempts people have is limited before they are, they're not allowed to log in anymore, making sure two-factor authentication is on. This is important from a security perspective. That's everything I wanted to talk about security-wise. We talked about accessibility. The final piece I wanted to talk about is conversion rate optimization. This is something that you mentioned to me on the call that is important to you, is how can you get more people to take action rather than just visiting your website and leaving. The main piece I wanted to mention is we definitely have the opportunity to talk more to each of the job seekers and the employers. We don't want to just mention that we can help these people. We want to show how we've helped people like them before and the value that they've had from this. So this is something that we would go into a lot more detail in our strategy call and our discovery call, and actually craft this messaging to put it on our website. But just think, like, if you were a job seeker, why would you want to work with R&T Staffing? It's not just enough or compelling enough just to say that we help these people. What's in it for me? So if I'm a job seeker, what's in it for me? Like what do I want? And you can come up with a whole bunch of reasons, and then you find the reasons that you actually have proof to show, and then you show those reasons. And that's kind of the strategy for that. And then it's the same thing with employers. Like if I'm an employer, why would I go with R&T Staffing over a competitor or just doing it myself? And you want to talk about those reasons, show that you've done those reasons, and then call to action. So conversion rate optimization at a high level, that's an overview, a quick overview of your website. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.
If you would like a website review for your business's website, head to simply-sprout.com. Click the button that says My Free Website Review. Fill out the form and I will record a custom 15-minute long video with actionable steps that you can take to improve your business's website. Thank you.